But it takes us back to why in the world are we not hearing some serious discussion about increasing the number of Supreme Court justices? That may be our only way out of this mess. And I think it's something that we need to get back in the public consciousness.
Is expanding, did you say? I'm sorry.
Expanding,
yes.
adding to the Supreme Court, adding the number of justices.
This was Mitch McConnell's packed court that he blew up the filibuster for. So, I mean, every story today comes back to the same thing where it just makes you insane. So let's end on, the relative temperature of the relative gooses of Matt Gaetz and Donald Trump vis-a-vis Georgia. I'm sorry. Did Richard Painter want to check in? Is that what we were looking for?
Mm-hmm. His goose is cooked here.
You tweeted, Georgia Attorney General Fani Willis seems poised to be the first to indict Donald Trump. As you always say, let's take the maiden legal voyage. It looks like, as you were saying, you were the first. Of course I read your tweet, as I always do on the air. You said this is because Trump's attorneys met with them in Georgia. You said this is often the last step before prosecutors seek an indictment, giving the target's lawyers a chance to present evidence and argument as to why the target should not be indicted. It looks like Georgia might be the first out of the blocks to indict Trump, but they won't be the last. So tell us what all that means and on what time frame do you think?
Yeah, 3 important data points. One, the DA, Fani Willis from Fulton County, Georgia, announced that she expects to have a charging decision in the first half of 2022. Well, we're in the first half of 2022. The second important data point, we learned that, I think courtesy of Rachel Maddow breaking the news a couple of nights ago, that the Trump defense team met with the Fulton County prosecutors. I've been involved in those meetings. Here's what we do, Steph. In not so much in violent crime cases, but in fraud and public corruption cases, white collar cases, we will invite the defense team in as the last step before we walk back into the grand jury one final time and ask them to indict. And we will say, listen, if we're looking at the evidence wrong, if we're barking up the wrong tree, if you have any exculpatory information, anything that would prove your client Donald Trump is innocent, present it to us now. They obviously had that meeting, and what happened? 2 days later, Donald Trump sends an unhinged statement out saying, oh my God, DAs just want to prosecute everybody and ruin our lives.
Yep.
That tells me the meeting didn't go so good.
Yeah.
Those 3 data points, Steph, tell me that the smart money is riding on Fulton County being the first prosecutor's office out of the gate with indictments against Donald Trump. I think it's coming.
Wow. This is why you're here. You said to thrill up my leg. Okay. The relative temperature of Matt Gaetz.
His goose is cooked here.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Richard. On Matt Gaetz's goose, his ex-girlfriend has cooperated. Obviously, they're saying that's normally the last step before indictment because that seems like this has been taking forever. What's your take on Matt Gaetz?
So if I don't think I would bet a buck yet on Matt Gaetz being indicted the way I would bet a buck. That's my betting limit. I'm a high roller. I would bet a buck that Georgia will probably be the first out of the gate to indict Donald Trump. So listen, the witnesses in these kind of cases generally are very challenging because, not only are they victims in a very real sense, but many of them along the way probably committed crimes themselves, which is why you have to do the immunity dance with a witness like this. Now, if they've done the immunity dance and the witness is fully on board as telling the complete truth, warts and all, about Matt Gaetz and Joel Greenberg and anybody else who might have been involved in this horrific conduct, then the prosecutors may feel like they have enough to move toward an indictment. I think it's still an open question, but I think it's a more certain thing that Gaetz will be indicted than it was a week ago, but I still don't think it's a done deal.
Okay. All right. So let's get to just the last thing. You said more than 350 individuals have already cooperated with January 6th committee, but 5 people have instead decided to become members of the cover-up club: Bannon, Meadows, Perry, Jordan, and now Kevin McCarthy. You said, have these guys learned nothing from Watergate? And you were, you also said Scott Perry, Jim Jordan have material evidence relevant to Donald Trump's crimes, yet they refuse to provide it. There's a term for that, cover up. They should be subpoenaed and criminally investigated. Right. And finally you said, in my experience, the three main reasons witnesses refuse to testify about the potential crimes of others are: one, they're complicit in the crime; two, they had witness security concerns; or three, they were supporters, enablers, and or loyalists of the target of the investigation. That seems to apply to all these people, including Meadows. I mean, Meadows is up to his eyebrows in this, isn't he?
They're members of the cover-up caucus, those five. And I tell you, if it were me and 350 people have already provided what is likely incriminating evidence against Donald Trump, I wouldn't be siding with the five people who are saying, no, we're going to hide that evidence from the select committee and by extension from the American people. And Kevin McCarthy is the most recent inductee into the cover-up caucus. And here's the thing, McCarthy, out of his own mouth, made himself a marquee witness against Donald Trump by saying on the Fox Entertainment Network, I had the first conversation with Donald Trump on the phone when the attack on the Capitol started. He said he didn't see it, which is nonsense.
Yeah.
But he also said he would put something out to stop it, and then he didn't for more than 3 hours. That makes McCarthy, by his own admission, a marquee witness against Donald Trump, because he can tell us everything about that conversation, about Donald Trump's state of mind, and about Donald Trump's corrupt intent and dereliction of duty. And he is hiding that evidence from the select committee. He's now made himself a member of the cover-up caucus.
And guess who's on the other side of some of those conversations? Liz Cheney.
Yep. Zoinks.
Zoink, Scooby.
Yeah.
Glenn, great as always. I know some of this stuff didn't even break, and we were like, thank God we have tricked Glenn Kirschner into being a regular without even telling him that. Oops. Love you.
Always here for you.
Awesome.
Always here for you, Scott.
Love you, Superman. Goodbye.
Thanks, Glenn.